Hey everyone, I'm Camille McCutcheon. Today is day one of my Wild to Willing training demonstration. I've got Marble with me here. She's my friend Shelby's horse. Shelby, you want to come in and say hi?
Sure.
So today we're showing the very first steps of what training a wild horse looks like. She's pretty calm today. We haven't done any training at all. Shelby, you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Shelby. This is my first Mustang. I drank the Kool-Aid and decided to join the club. I grew up with horses, I guess. We breed gypsy banners at home and trained a few of them, but have never worked with a wild horse before, so this will be exciting.
And I've worked with wild horses for 2 years now. I've done one extreme Mustang makeover, and I hope to do another one again this year. So I've taken 4 horses out of holding so far. Each one has been different and a challenge in their own way. I'm really excited to see what Marble's personality is going to be like. She seems really calm right now, just not too sure of us yet. So I hope to get pretty far with her and show you everything that we can. We'll go ahead and get started. I think that's enough talking. All right, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of put all my tools down and just walk up to her, kind of see where her bubble is at. If you want to hang out by the door, you can.
Yeah.
And Shelby and I are going to be tag teaming today, so I'm going to show you what something looks like, and then I'm going to have Shelby come in and practice it on her horse. So I'm going to try and approach Marble, see how close she'll let me get to her, just kind of judge what she's comfortable with and where her personal space bubble is at.
And those who are watching live right now, if y'all have questions, if you just put them in the comments, I'll read them out loud to Camille and hopefully she can answer them.
Seems to be the distance she's comfortable with right now. She kind of wants to keep one eye on me. she's starting to let her guard down a little bit, so I'm going to give her some space as a reward. And now that I kind of have an idea of how close she's comfortable with me being, I'm going to take my carrot stick here. I'm going to push her around a little bit. I'm going to reward her when she turns towards me. The biggest thing you can do to reward a wild horse is not to give them treats, it's not to give them scratches. You know, domestic horses appreciate that, but wild horses really appreciate their space. So anytime she does something I really like, I'm just going to take a step back, let her process the information, and let her relax a little bit. Right now I'm inviting her to reach out and touch this carrot stick. When she turns her head towards it, I'm going to take a step back and say that was a good reaction. Hopefully this cat knows better.
I don't know if it does.
Well, she's not afraid of cats.
Pam says hi, and we're happy that you're learning, Pam.
Who said that?
Pam. Morgan says she's such a nice, level-headed mare.
So she touched my stick there. I'm gonna give her a big reward. Come all the way over here, let her process that.
Camille, how old is she?
About 4.
She's 4.
Yeah. This cat. I really hope we don't see a trampled cat on the live feed. Hey, little buddy.
Can you like shoo him out?
Alright. In a second, I'm going to have Shelby come in here and practice. So what I'm doing here is I'm putting this stick in her comfort zone, and it follows her until she decides to be brave and either stop, oh good girl, or take a look at it. So see, she's licking now. She understands that she faced what was scary, and then I took it away. So it's a very strong reward for wild horses. But a lot of people who don't know anything about it think that the best way to get them to be your friend is to sit there with a bucket of grain and wait for them to come up to you. But really, a wild horse prizes its safety and its space more than it does any other motivator. Good girl. So I'm going to wait for her to be done relaxing, and then I'm going to go in and do that one more time. want Shelby coming here to practice.
Kristen asks, how did you learn how to tame Mustangs?
Trial and error, mostly. I didn't have really a teacher. I mostly learned from watching the horses' reactions. And it takes a while to learn because wild horses are different from domestic horses. But I like how she shook her head there. That's another sign that she's releasing tension. So I'm going to try one more time, see if she'll let me come in and touch her. Timing is a huge part of training. I held it on just as long as I thought she would let me. When she started to turn there, I waited till she paused and I took it away right when she paused. Because you don't want it to be their idea when I release pressure, but she very easily could have turned and whipped away from me. And I didn't want her to do that, so I conceded and I let her back up a little bit, but right when she took that little pause, I took it away. So I'm thanking her, even though she did back up a little bit, I do thank her when she pauses to think about what she's doing. So I'm going to do this one more time and then Shelby's going to come in. And another big thing is you always want them to have an escape route. Because when they don't think that they can escape, when they feel cornered or trapped, that's when people get hurt. So she can very easily back up or she can very easily run forward. I definitely don't want to be on her like this because then she could start to come at me or start to go up. And that's definitely what you don't want to happen. You don't want to force anything on them. You just do it when you think they're ready. So I think she's ready for her shoulder to be touched again. I don't want her going backwards. So if she does spook, I want her to go forwards. So I'm going to give her a lot of room right here.
Morgan asked and said, so is the takeaway the reward?
The takeaway is the reward.
Kristen has asked, does it usually go this smoothly? Mustangs seem to be pretty smart. I've seen some other trainers with Mustangs and they were absolutely unreceptive on day one.
It depends. My first Mustang was really easy. Didn't teach me a lot about the gentling process because I got there in her pen on day one and she was already let me come up to her with nothing in my hands, just rub on her, pet on her. She didn't have much of a bubble. So day one I was already brushing her with my brushes without any training at all. She was just really wanting a buddy at first. This one is just a little bit cautious. She's not scared at all. I've had ones that run around the pen, will crash into panels because they're so terrified because they don't know what you're going to do to them. It just depends on the horse and each trainer's approach. So some of them could go in here with whips flying and turn this horse into a complete nightmare, but I always think the gentler approach is better. These questions are good too because it gives her a chance to relax while I'm still in her proximity. So I'm going to go in on this side. Let me see if she'll touch that shoulder.
Got another question for you. Will you continue to show training on this horse?
she wants.
I'm gonna need it.
Take videos for y'all.
And also, hello from the UK, from Wales.
So like I said, I'd rather her go forwards than backwards. So I'm giving her plenty of room out front to move. I'm just going to hold the pressure here until she decides it's not so bad.
Have another question. She seems more receptive to one side than the other. Is that also a common thing?
Yeah, that's very common. Some of them will revelry my makeover horse. She'd let me rub all over on day one, from the head all the way down to the hindquarters on the right side, but it took a little more time to open up the left side. So I work both sides pretty evenly, but if I am making more progress in one side and they're still kind of wary of me, I'll spend more time on that one side and let them know that I want to be their friend.
Colleen wants to know, is this the horse's first time with a human?
This is her first training session. We went in and hung out outside her stall the other day, but this is the first time she's been up close and personal besides vet visits and such. When the horse is wild, you really can't get a vet to them, but they need their shots and stuff. So they run them into a squeeze chute, and that's a safe way, safe for the horse and safe for the vets to get their shots done, get their teeth looked at, and it's just to get them processed. So that's really the only up-close encounter she's had with people so far. So a lot of Mustangs, they just don't know what to think of you at first. You just got to show them that you're not trying to hurt them, and you're not trying to scare them. Just doing real good here. I'm going to come a little bit closer.
How do you know when to finish a session?
That can be tricky. I'd say when they take a really big step forward. We'll see where we get to today. Does anyone in the live audience have any questions?
Not right now.
You answered mine about
Stay
which
right
side.
after drive point, or kind of balance it?
Kind of balance it. I don't want to be driving her from behind,
Yeah, but you don't want to be.
but I don't want to be blocking her escape route. She chewed her lips there, so I'm going to take a step back. She does seem more receptive on the other side, so I'm going to turn around, do that one more time, and then she'll be able to be here. I know I keep saying that.
I've got another question for you.
Yeah.
What is the idea/purpose of the lunge whip? Just trying to make contact? Is it like an extension of the arm?
Yes, extension of the arm. So you don't want to get in there. Some horses you can get in there and they're okay with you touching them. She isn't really open to the idea yet. So this takes off the pressure of me being close to her and just introduces the idea of touching. So when you're up close, there's a lot of pressure on them, and some horses can react badly when you're that close. So you're taking off some of the pressure of your presence, and you're just working on the touch. You want to say hi to me?
How do you keep your own nerves and adrenaline under control with tricky horses?
You can't tiptoe around them. They'll pick up on that if you are nervous, or if you're, trying to creep in there. That'll put you on ease, and that'll put them on ease. So the biggest thing is being aware of your body language, that you're not, just trying to sneak in there. That puts everyone on edge. As far as nerves go, you just don't run up on their butt the first day. You just try and limit variables.
And Colleen, to answer your question, y'all picked her up, 2 days ago? 3 days ago? Yesterday?
Yeah.
But she's been in a holding pen before this. Camille, do you know how long she's been out of the wild in holding?
She was caught as a yearling.
Okay.
2-3 years. Yeah.
Okay.
Is this her first time by herself, without any other horses around?
since like yesterday while she was in the trailer.
What made you choose this Mustang?
She's pretty. No, I liked in the video how she was very calm while she was walking around, and you know, she was looking at everything before she spooked at it, so she was giving it the time of day to acknowledge what it was.
So Camille, if someone was like looking, say they want to adopt a Mustang, it's their first one, what kind of traits do you think they should look for?
I would look for a slow-moving horse. You know, horses that are scared are gonna move a lot faster. The reason why I agreed with Shelby that this would be a good pick is she was trotting nice and slow, and she was putting her head to the ground, sniffing the ground. That's a good sign. A horse that's nervous is gonna have their head high in the air, their ears pricked forward, and she was just kind of looking like she was taking in her environment. Some of them, you see the videos, and they're in that corral and they're running around and their tails in the air and their heads in the air, and you know, they just look unsettled, you know. And she was, of course, cautious, but she looked like she was taking everything in and not totally overwhelmed by it.
Does it help to have a lot of people around her while you're doing this?
I think she's going to have to get used to a lot of people sooner or later. She doesn't look like she's too overwhelmed.
There's a question about where can people go to adopt a Mustang?
There's like a lot of online adoption things that the BLM does, so you can check that out, and then you can set up an appointment with one of the BLM holding facilities up in, I mean, if you're from Texas, probably from Oklahoma and Pauls Valley.
They also do like adoption events.
Yeah, they
all
do
over.
several adoption events.
There's also the online auction. Is that up again with the whole government shutdown thing
They're
going
having
on?
trouble with it. I don't think it's up yet, but usually they have one every month. Online adoption. That's where Shelby got this horse. I grabbed something a little bit longer so I can keep the touch on her while she's moving around.
Okay. Why do you think horses are more receptive on one side versus the other? And are the mares darted so they're not able to breed? I know they gelled the stallions.
What was the first part of the question?
Why do you think horses are more receptive on one side versus the other?
They're kind of like us. They have two sides of their brains. I don't really have a good scientific explanation. It's just something that happens.
I know they've done studies in horses, just like people are like left-sided and
She's really
right-sided.
good at accepting that touch, so I'm gonna have Shelby come in here and practice what I've been working on. What was the second part of the question again?
Are the mares darted so they're not able to breed?
That's a really good question and a little bit hard to answer because I don't know 100% of the facts, but certain HMAs are treated with PZP, which can be volunteer administered, and it makes it so the horses still cycle but cannot be bred. They're doing research on drugs that are longer lasting, have better results, less side effects, and make it so the horses still cycle. One of the problems with the PZP is the stallions sense that the mares are cycling and still try and reproduce, and the horses don't get pregnant, so they're kind of bred again and again, and it's hard on the mares, literally physically hard on them. So that's another reason why they're looking for better options than PCP. Good question. I hope I answered it as fully as I could. If you want to research more about that, I would definitely check out the BLM website. Okay, get in there, Shelby.
Is it important to work here every day? If you want to step out, and I'll keep reading questions to you.
Yeah, I'll come over to you right here.
And yes, Carly, they are left-handed and right-handed, just like people are. And that's with like any horse, not just Mustangs. So,
Is it important to work every day? Yeah, I think it is. I try and work several small sessions a day, depending on how often I'm able to. Good job. How often I'm able to be out there. Ellen can call me back later. So I should be able to find online. Yes, go to blm.gov, and then there should be a tab for Wild Horse and Burro Program. And then they have a list of the holding facilities. That's one option, is you can make an appointment with a holding facility and go up there, pick one out on your own time.
she also has this follow-up question. Do you know how much it costs?
How much it costs? The general Mustang adoption fee is $125. But you know, there's also costs for transportation, building a pen. Let me give you a wide view of our pen. Shelby built this just for a Mustang. I didn't realize your truck was back there. Okay, so Shelby built this just for a Mustang. It's a 6-foot pen, and we put construction fencing on it, just as a visual deterrent. And you never know if you're going to get a Mustang that just wants to jump out of their pen, so that helps. Yeah, doing good. Want to try the other side?
Yeah.
And then it also opens up to the barn. We've got a barn area in there. We've got the gate pulled across it right now. How old was I when I started training Mustangs? I want to say 16, 17. No, I was 17 when I got my first Mustang. And I didn't really have a trainer or anyone helping me out. I kind of just learned it on my own. Easy. Just keep it there. Yeah, keep it there. Yeah, I pretty much learned by myself. I had some knowledge of horsemanship. Just the biggest part about working with Mustangs is you have to be intuitive. You have to know when they're relaxed, know when they're nervous, and find the training methods that work best for them. What is the number one thing? Oh, I guess I kind of answered that question. Being aware, being able to read a horse. Yeah, good job. Go see if she'll let you rub her shoulder. Always train counterclockwise. I'm not sure what that means. We're doing both directions, if that's what you were asking. What is the diameter of the pin? I'm not sure. 30 feet? So my 16-year-old daughter's dream is to train a Mustang. Well, that was my dream too, and I did it when I was 17. Nothing's impossible. Does the adoption agency for Mustangs check your fencing and whatnot before adopting? They're allowed to ask for pictures. I haven't ever been asked for pictures, but you know, if you adopt a Mustang, good. See if she'll let you go in and rub her. Yeah, after the release, go in and see if she'll let you rub her. They're allowed to make checkups, yes. Keep the pressure on her. That wasn't a good reaction, so you keep the pressure on her until you get a good reaction. Do you want the longer one?
I think this might be the longer one.
No, I've got a lunge line.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. Or a lunge whip.
Oh, let me get her to stop a little bit. Get from you.
They're allowed to check fencing, but no, they don't often do. But if you do adopt a Mustang and you don't have the appropriate fences and it gets out, and if the BLM has to come over and help you catch that animal again, you're not allowed to adopt again. So highly recommend following the guidelines. Have you ever gotten seriously hurt training a horse? No, I've never been to the ER or anything. I mean, I've fallen off a good number of times.
There's a pretty awesome video on your page.
Yeah, if you scroll down to videos on my page, and I'm gonna give her that longer line.
Ooh, dusty.
Yeah. Then when you're done with that, I'm gonna come in with a little bit of a different tactic.
Okay.
Here, I'll zoom in here.
Good girl. Good.
Yeah, so that's just what the lunge whip does, is it takes the pressure of your presence off of them so that they can accept touch without you being in their face. She's chewing right now. Good girl. See if you can rub her on that shoulder. Hold it, hold it. Back up so she can go forwards. You don't want her turning away from you.
Yeah.
Here, just try the other shoulder. She might be better on the other shoulder. But, well, she's being evasive now. Yeah, just rest that whip on her. Make sure she has plenty of room to go forward if she feels the need to. Yeah. Good. Take it away. All right, come out here and we'll switch places.
Yeah. Sure, I can hold that if you want.
Oh, you're fine.
I'm gonna come in with a little bit of a different approach.
Do you feel training Mustangs is the most difficult horse? I've trained quarter horses my whole life, but I'd be interested in working with Mustangs as well.
No, definitely not. I'd say rescues are a lot more difficult, ones that have been abused, because they know people can hurt them, whereas a Mustang just hasn't had a bad experience yet. They're more of a blank slate, whereas rescues that were abused have, emotional scars, mental scars. It's a lot harder to train that out of them than it is to train a horse with no experience to be okay with being handled and touched. It's a lot easier to gain their trust before it's been broken. Right, so a little bit of a different approach now. I've got my carriage whip. I'm going to push her around with. If she's not moving, I'm just going to see if she'll let me touch her. So the biggest thing about approaching the rear end is obviously you don't want to stand right behind them. And the first time you do it, you want to have some distance. But you want them to have plenty of room to go forwards so they don't see the need to fly backwards and kick you.
Lori, we're currently in College Station, Texas.
Okay. I'm going to try the carrot stick because she's brushing this one away. It might be a little too light for her taste.
How much time do you take on training before you touch them with your hand?
It depends on the horse entirely. Some horses, Revelry, my makeover horse, I got her off the trailer and about 30 minutes later I went in there and she started sniffing my hand. Aurora, my first Mustang, like I said, I was petting her before I had to do any kind of training. This horse I think will get close to, starting to rub her down today. Maybe tomorrow we'll see if we can get a halter on her. And then Echo was the one I picked up last summer with Revelry. It took a week before we could touch her. But then right when she let us rub her face, rub her neck, rub her body, we got a halter on her. We were leading her out of the pen, picking up her feet. She came along real fast. It was just that first touch that took a while to get to. So every horse kind of has their own timeline.
How many Mustangs have you trained?
4. Straight out of holding 4. But my little sister has one. I work with him too. I've worked with a couple other people's Mustangs, but 4 out of holding.
And yes, Thomas, Texas Speedway is about 20 minutes from here.
Good girl. Just letting me scratch her now.
There's also a comment that she's more calm with you than Shelby. Is there a reason why?
I think Camille has a little bit more confidence than I do with it.
A little bit. The confidence can bring out their own confidence. But I think it's more of like a body language thing. So yeah, confidence. And then I've just spent a lot of more time around wild Mustangs. You kind of get to learn their language, you know, what works for them. So right now I can see she's begrudgingly, you know, accepting this. So I'm just going to wait until she relaxes with it on her, and then I'll take it away. You want to teach them that it's okay to relax, you know? So we're not going to push her. We're just going to stay where she's accepting it, and then as soon as she relaxes, I'll take it away, and I'll thank her for that. She's doing so good right now. Yeah, you are.
Is there a difference between where you touch them, like that front shoulder, you start there and then you work your way back? Or?
It depends on the horse. Some of them are more comfortable starting where they can have both eyes on you. A lot of them like you to start at their nose. She was kind of weaving back and forth when I was standing right in front of her, trying to get either eye on me. So I don't think she really felt comfortable with me being directly in front of her. So it just depends. I've never really started back here, but she might be a little more comfortable with that. I usually start at either the head, the neck, or the shoulder. So again, we're just waiting for a sign that she's starting to relax. She's starting to twitch her lips like she might be enjoying this. That's why I'm going in with the methodical kind of scratching. The resting it on them can make them kind of unsettled. So I'm just, you know, acting like I'm grooming her almost.
She keeps starting to put her butt towards you. Is she trying to be in control and give you disrespect? And when she didn't go forward, should you force her to go even though she didn't want to?
I don't think she's being disrespectful. She is moving back because she might want to turn into the fence and go the other way. So yeah, she's opening that option up for herself. Good. I like that little head shake right there. That was really good. So I'm going to take a step back.
And Carly also noted earlier that her left leg was relaxed, but you kept petting her.
Yeah, sometimes that can be a sign of relaxation, but sometimes I've seen them cock it just before pushing on. So I wanted something a little bit bigger, and that head shake, you know, she's kind of loosening up her muscles a little bit. And now she's chewing. She's saying that wasn't so bad. As far as pushing them forward when they go back, I don't do it unless they're trying to escape that way. But when she takes a step back, I just stay with her in the same spot along her body and just let her know that she's not going to get the pressure off that way. But yeah, these are good questions.
And then also hi from Calgary, Alberta, Canada.
Wow, I have a lot of international followers. That's pretty cool. I'm going to see if she'll let me approach that same spot. So like you said, she kind of turned her butt towards me. That might be a little disrespect. I'm not going to punish her for it, but I am going to ask to go back to the spot where I started. And right now she's backing up because she's thinking about turning away. So I just stay where I am.
Hello from Italy.
Y'all want to say what countries y'all are from? I'm kind of getting a kick out of that. Good. That was a big release right there. Right after, you probably can't see from that angle, but right after she did that big head shake, her mouth started chewing again. Because that's what they do when they tense up, their mouth gets very tight. And then when they relax again, they let loose their muscles and they'll start chewing to relax. I'm gonna see if I can get up to her shoulder this time.
Hi from Alabama. Montreal, Canada.
Okay, I'm up at her withers now. This is a good spot to do some scratching because it's letting her know that I'm her friend. If you ever see horses grooming each other in the field, they'll be at the withers scratching each other. See, she's shaking her head out now. She likes this. So I'm just letting her know that, you know, she doesn't have to be afraid of me, that I'm just trying to be her friend. Her eyes are really starting to soften. You can't really see from over there, but she's, you know, softening her eyes. Her nose is kind of twitching around. Good girl. I like that she's looking at me because earlier she was kind of refusing to look at me. I'll just wait for another big sign of relaxation and then I'll try it again on the other side.
Hello from Maryland, Ontario, Canada, Indiana, Tennessee, Virginia, Wyoming, Ohio,
Oh, that's really
and Alaska. And Carly has a question. They say they're in the process of purchasing and setting up property here in Alaska and eventually plan to adopt Mustangs. Do you think such a long trip would in any way harm them?
No, I'd be careful about temperatures though. You know, I'm sure you know that being in Alaska. So right here I'm following her. When she stops, I'm gonna give her a little bit of a break. Just let her know that she can move, but the pressure isn't gonna go away. What was the rest of the question? Alaska, oh, okay. I know there's certain rules about going through Canada, so you definitely want to look into those. But you can call any BLM representative and they'll be able to give you some good advice. I definitely wouldn't unload halfway through the trip because, you know, wherever you unload, you're not sure you can get them back on. But I would, you know, take breaks to stop, you know, because the vibration of the trailer is a lot on their joints. You know, stop, let them relax, you know, let them loosen up a little bit, at least 1 or 2 times before you continue on. And usually a stop for gas is enough to do that.
And Colleen, it's also 64 degrees down here. There's
Yeah.
no snow.
Yeah. It's a pretty nice day. I thought it might be rainy. And I go in, see if she'll let me approach the shoulder since I've been approaching her by. Good. Okay, so I'm back at the withers. And like I said, I'm just going to wait for another big sign of relaxation before I take it away. I'm going to try and get up under that mane a little because I bet it's itchy under there. Yeah, she's moving her nose. Y'all can't see, but she's moving her nose like she really is enjoying this. So that's just, you know, you want to make a good first impression on them. You want to be their friend. So having, you know, the first touches with the whip be pleasurable where we're scratching her like her buddies in a field would. You know, it's a very good thing to do.
Hello from Chicago. Thank you so much for sharing your experiences and knowledge and being a total inspiration for people of all ages to follow their dreams and give people an outlet for training when otherwise wouldn't have access to this knowledge of Mustangs. Thank you so much.
Good. I like how she was looking at me there. Thank you. Y'all are really going to make me cry. I love getting stuff like that. So we're going to try and open up the other side.
Apparently it's 17 degrees in Ohio.
Oh boy.
Tuesday was -4.
Yeah, I really enjoy Texas. So yeah, she wants me back on this side. She said, I liked what you were doing on that side, but we're just going to see if we can open up this side, the right side a little bit. So that's gonna let her go around me. Start getting her used to the idea of being on her right side again.
Apparently it's -21 in Alberta.
Oh no. I could not live up north. I'm gonna stay in Texas.
They're very
my whole
like
life.
two-sided thing with one side, like they could be perfect at it, and then as soon as you move to the other side, it's like a brand new plate.
They're not like humans where they could be like, oh, like I did this with my left hand so I can like switch with my right. It's like having two separate horses in one.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Once you can touch them and move them and stuff, how long does it seem to take longer for wild horses that are domesticated to be able to put a saddle on and riding?
It depends on the horse. There's generally 2 routes you can go. For the makeover, you're trying to get them saddled and riding as soon as you can because you only have 100 days before you go to competition. So you can go the route of, actually training them to accept the saddle. Or my little one I have now, she's 2, so I'm in no rush at all. I've spent a long time just, bringing her in when I saddle up my other mare. So she's already seen me carry the saddle around, throw it on the other horse. She's seen it, she's heard it, she's desensitized to it. And then last week I went out and just threw the saddle on her for the first time, and she just, just kind of stood there, just kind of took it in. So it depends on the horse, though. That's a good question. Some of them, once you gain their trust, you can do whatever you want to them. Some of them take a little bit more persuasion. I really like how she's got her head down, relaxing right now. I'm gonna see if we can start at the butt again.
Do you prefer gentling mares or geldings? Do you notice a difference?
I haven't actually gentled a gelding yet, so I'll let you know. I just love mares so much, I always seem to end up getting them. Good. So we're probably going to be starting over on this side. That is so funny. Come on. There you go.
And hello from South Carolina. Love watching your videos. I learn a lot from them.
That's the other thing about when you first start training Mustangs is, you're worried about getting too assertive with them. But the better you can tell them, this is what I want you to do, the less confusing it'll be to them, and the more confidence they'll have about doing it. So, the first time I was training a Mustang and they'd kind of turn their butt to me, I'd be like, oh, I don't know what to do. But confidence comes with time.
So, if you're not in like a super big hurry to get them, like trained to be ridden, after you get the halter on, is there just a lot of leading practice and stuff before?
Yeah, there's a lot I teach them for the ground before I start to introduce the saddle. There's so much to learn, about controlling their body. So I teach leading. The first thing I do when I get a halter on is I leave it on them with the lead rope dragging, and I step out of the pen for a minute and let them get used to the idea of the rope following them, touching their legs, and if they step on it, they have to get used to the pressure on their face. So that's something that they do very well in teaching themselves. And just so you don't go in there and you teach them to lead and you think you've got it good, and then you drop the rope and suddenly it freaks them out when it's like a snake following them on the ground. So that's the first thing I do, and then there's lots to teach them from the ground. I didn't really do much groundwork with horses until I got Mustangs, because you take for granted everything that a domestic horse knows. Picking up its feet, that can be a big deal to some of them. Also, going over obstacles. Getting into a trailer taught me a lot. Took me a while to learn how to properly get a horse into the trailer without, having to bribe them with food or having to smack them from behind. So yeah, there's a lot to be taught before you throw a saddle on.
I'm gonna ask you the shorter question first. Colleen says, I thought they were required to leave the adoption site with a halter on.
No, you can, but I prefer to start without a halter. You know, if you get a halter on, and you start leading, generally you have to reteach things. So some people go that route because they're not sure they can, you know, work a wild horse up to being caught, you know, do what I'm doing right now. So some people do go that route, but I prefer, you know, to kind of not skip steps.
And then Carly asked, for finances' sake, I would bring 2 home at once. Do you think training one and the view of the other might be beneficial or detrimental? Would it be a good idea to keep them together for comfort or separated to prevent things like buddy sourness, etc.? She says, I'll have other farm animals around as well.
I've done 2 together and it worked great. One thing about Mustang training is I like to give them a lot of breaks and a lot of different sessions in the day. So if I got to a good point with one horse, their pins were literally side by side. If I got to a good point with one horse, I drop it and then go work in the other horse's pin for a while. And then I kind of flip-flop back and forth, and that worked really well. Because I was able to stay out there hours and hours and hours without overwhelming a horse. So like I said, each side is different. So what you teach on one side, you got to teach on the other side. So we're starting where we started on the other side, was just scratching her butt.
All right, I have another comment. I'm so impressed with not only your horsemanship, which is magical to watch, but your ability to teach while doing this.
Y'all are so nice. Thank you. I'll do this again tomorrow. I know a few more people who are coming out tomorrow, so we'll probably have a few more questions from the audience. I'm loving the Facebook questions. I'm glad I decided to go live.
Colleen said, here they won't let you. If you don't bring a halter, they charge you $20 to buy one before they load you.
That's really weird. What facility is that, if you don't mind me asking? I've only ever picked up at Falls Valley, and they're really helpful. Kat, who works there, is really, really helpful.
Yesterday when we picked her up, there was like no option to get a halter on her. We couldn't even get them into a barn or anything. We just backed up the trailers to each other.
Yeah, the deal with picking up her was because of the government shutdown. Originally, we were supposed to pick her up at the Mustang Magic, but that was canceled because they have the Fort Worth Stock Show and Rodeo going on, and they didn't want them bringing wild Mustangs. And then we were supposed to pick her up at the Livingston adoption event, but that was canceled because they hadn't received funding because of the shutdown. Big girl. So I'm waiting for a big relapse from her before I take this away, and then it'll be Shelby's turn again. I feel like I'm hogging your horse.
No. Glad to watch.
And so the Livingston event was supposed to be this weekend, I guess, but was canceled because they couldn't receive funding, and by the time the government was back up, it was too late to put everything on again. So Shelby met someone who was on a trailer in Livingston, and they just backed their trailers up together and loaded from there. So there was no event this weekend, but we're very glad that the BLM has been working with us through this shutdown. You know, they really do care about the homes these horses get and care about, you know, they're just really good people. If you haven't visited a BLM facility, I would definitely recommend doing so. Because you get a lot of bad press these days. You know, the wild horse conservation groups will say a lot of bad things about BLM workers, but you know, before you make an opinion, I'd highly suggest you go up there and check it out for yourself, because there's some really good people.
Okay, got a few more comments. It blows my mind how one side is so different than the other. She started trusting one side, and then the other side, it's like she lost her marbles and has no idea what's happening.
That's a funny comment, because her name is actually Lost My Marbles. This is Marble, yeah. I don't know if we said that at the beginning of the video. But yes, every side is different. So what you teach on one side, you have to teach on the other side. I always teach a horse to allow the saddle to be thrown on from both sides, to to allow you to mount from both sides. Even put the halter on from both sides. You know, it's just good for them to know. They have to learn how to lunge both directions. Good girl. She seems to like this spot right here. I'm not sure why. So this is where I've been able to rub her. They do tend to have certain spots in the trap they feel more comfortable standing in. This is probably because she has the gate here to her barn where she spent the night. Good girl. So I'm just waiting for one more big relax and then I'll hand her over to Shelby.
Jennifer says, thank you for doing a live video, watching from Wyoming. I adopted my first 2 Mustangs in August last year and absolutely love them.
That's great. I really love hearing stuff like that. My arm is getting tired.
Chicken dinner.
Yeah, you're gonna have to tap me out in a second. She's doing real good. You know, this pole just kind of bridges the distance. Eventually we'll be able to get in there with our hands. But like I said, it just gives them a bubble where you're not in their space and just really gives them room to think before you try and go in there. Good girl. And she's not really touchy at all. Some Mustangs, Tuxedo is still very touchy. But earlier when I was trying to get her to switch directions and she didn't want to, I was literally, people were laughing. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but I was, you know, touching her on the flanks with the whip, trying to get her to just yield a little bit. She wouldn't even move, so she's not touchy. I like that. It's a real good sign. She's starting to relax a little bit. I'll just wait till she gives me a head shake, or till she starts chewing or puts her head low, and I'll take it away. Good girl. There you go. Good girl. So she gets a big reward here. I'm taking away all the pressure. And she's continuing to lick and chew and eat. Alright, Shelby, you ready?
Woo! Let's do it.
So I've got this one for touching, this one for pushing.
Okay, perfect. Should I continue on the side you were just working on, or go back to the first side?
Go back to the first side, yeah.
Okay.
We need to get a real latch on this thing.
Yeah.
Do you think you and her swapping out is slowing down like the process, or does it really matter?
Right now maybe, but in the long run, it's going to be good that she can be handled by different people. Good girl. Yeah. See if you can work up her back too. Any more questions? So just, you know, stand where you were before. Just let her know that her turning her butt to you isn't going to get her out of what you're working on. She's chewing. Go ahead and back up. So yeah, the biggest thing with working with Mustangs is you've got to get them a chance to relax and tell them that it's okay to let their guard down. She's doing so good.
Yeah.
If you can, if you think she'll let you, start working your way up her neck. You know, scratching under her mane. She was real itchy under there. Okay,
Pam
push her
says-
away now.
Pam says, this is so cool to watch. Thanks for doing a live feed. She is really more receptive.
Yeah. Yeah, you just gotta let her know that her turning her butt isn't gonna get her out of uncomfortable things. So just follow her if she turns it, and if she turns it all the way to the fence, make her turn around again.
Okay.
And yes, Colleen, this is Shelby's first Mustang.
Although she's worked with Tux a little bit in the early stages of training. She did a lot of work with Tux on her feet and on lunging. What else did we work on together? Yeah. See if you can work up to her face, because that's what we want to open up next.
Yeah.
And it's good that she's, she turns all the way to the fence, turn her around. Good.
Hello from Florida.
There you go, now start again. What time is it? It's already 1:20, wow. Yeah, I put 12 to 1 on the event flyer, but y'all are welcome to stay as long as you want. I think we're gonna get to a really good point where we're rubbing her on both sides and see if we can get a first touch in, and then we'll call it quits, I think. Yeah. That's really good. So wait till she relaxes while you're rubbing her neck, and then take a step away.
Shelby, what made you decide to adopt a Mustang?
I have trained several gypsy danners and a couple quarter horses before, and I wanted to see the difference and see like the journey of a Mustang. And yeah, I don't know, I drank the Kool-Aid.
I was a bad influence. She met me and then she went downhill.
Yeah. No, but I'm really enjoying it, and I think it's a very interesting thing, you know, because you can go to the Magic and see these awesome horses that are just Mustangs, and they're, you know, I mean, terrific, and people kind of like...
Keep following her.
My new barn owners used to do Mustang Magic.
Oh, yeah.
Good.
That's a really good thing to watch. If you ever get the opportunity to see a Mustang Magic or a Mustang makeover, I know they have the makeover in Germany too.
They have one in Kentucky this year.
Yes, this year Mustang makeovers are going to be in Kentucky, Lexington, Kentucky, Ocala, Florida. Yeah, just go around the corner. Yeah.
In Fort Worth, right?
Texas, Fort Worth, and Los Angeles. So 4 makeovers, and then we already had the Magic this year. It's just an incredible experience to compete in, but also to watch. I had a really good time watching the Mustang Magic. You know, it's just amazing. That's good. Take a step back. Now try and open up the other side once she gets a little break. But yeah, if you ever get the chance to watch one of those, or the tip challenges, check the Mustang Heritage Foundation website for a schedule of tip challenges. Those are the same idea as a makeover, but a little bit lower scale. Great events, just a little bit smaller. And I haven't actually been to one, but I imagine they're also very awesome to watch. And they have trained Mustangs available. Yeah. Get her trotting around you like I did to open up that right side.
Good girl.
She's so cute.
She's doing really good considering she's like taking down brush over there.
Oh yeah. Well, it's good to have stuff going on. You know, eventually they gotta learn that they need to focus on you even when there's stuff going on. Yeah, step in front of her to ask her to stop. There you go. It's funny how easy they learn that, you know, bit off of body language. A lot of domestic horses, you have to teach them to stop when you stand in front of their drive line, but Mustangs just know it. That's a big difference between Mustangs and domestic horses, is they're very sensitive to body language and nonverbal cues, because That's what they rely on in the wild. You know, they have the whole herd dynamics, and just keep following her. There you go. Is your arm getting sore?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, see if you can work up to the middle of her back. Good girl. Follow her. Good girl. See how she has all that room to run away, but she's still standing there? That's the big idea of what I work with is, you know, they have room to run if they need to. But, you know, you just kind of show them that they don't have to run. That you're not really there to hurt them. You're not there to push them. You're just there to kind of be their friend. Show them that being a domestic horse isn't so bad. Yeah. There you go. Just hang out right there and wait till she relaxes. Yeah. There you go. Good job. Okay, push her back to where you were. There you go. Now go in again. Don't tiptoe. Good. Now just hang out there till she lets her guard down a little bit. She's a little bit tense. See how her leg is cocked, but you can still tell she's real tense.
Yep, my bad.
That's why I don't rely on the leg being cocked as a sign of relaxation, because, you know, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're relaxed. Good.
I have another comment. Watching from Louisiana, I trained horses, but I always wanted to get a Mustang to test myself and to better my horse training skills.
That's a good thing to do. They'll teach you so much. Yeah, turn her around again. Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. They'll teach you a lot if you're willing to listen. It's okay if she just wants to run around you, just let her. Good, she's chewing. Yeah, just hang out there. You can give a little bit of pressure too.
Okay.
Sometimes they like a lot of pressure versus a little bit of pressure. You know, a little bit of pressure sometimes makes them feel uneasy,
Yeah.
like it's a fly on them or something. She's doing good. So I haven't really had one where I start at the body yet. But, you know, you just let them tell you what they're comfortable with. So first touch might be on her shoulder. Most of the time I do first touch, reach my hand out and they'll come in and sniff it, but we might get a first touch on her shoulder. Push her, push her. She's trying to turn away from you. Yeah. There you go. So just let her walk around you a little bit. I think she's still a bit uneasy with you just being on that side. So if she's moving, she's working out her nerves, and you're just, you know, there.
Could you remind us how much it is to adopt a Mustang again?
$125 is the standard fee. If you buy from Sale Authority, it's $25. The big difference between Sale Authority horses and adoption horses is for adoption horses, you have 1 year to train and work with and provide care for the horse. After 1 year, you applied for their title. You prove that you've been taking care of the horse, and the BLM will either accept your application and give you their title, which means they're yours, or they'll, I haven't ever heard of a case where the BLM has actually denied the application for a title, but I imagine it happens if someone gets a Mustang and, you know, doesn't feed it or doesn't try to train it.
And you can't sell it in that 1 year,
You
correct?
cannot sell it, no. It legally belongs to the federal government. But with Sale Authority horses, and all the ones I own have been Sale Authority, push her. She's turning away from you.
But with adoption horses, like, you can apply to have it transferred to someone else, correct, during that 1
you
year?
can apply to transfer ownership as long as they're an approved adopter. But for sale authority, once you get them in the trailer, take them home, they're yours. And the only big difference is you can't take the horse back if it doesn't work out. So maybe if you picked up a sale authority horse and it was too wild to be trained, or maybe it had, I've heard of horses being returned because of teeth problems or lameness issues, you couldn't return it. It would be your horse, and you'd have to either keep it or figure out what you are going to do with it. Some sanctuaries will take in horses that are too wild but also can't be returned. Yeah, just get one more good touch on that side and then I'm going to swap you out.
Okay.
Yeah, she's looking like she wants to go hide in the barn.
I know.
She's relaxed a lot since we started working with her, though. There you go. Good. So yeah, just hang out there. Doing real good. We'll just wait for her to tell us she's relaxed. Yeah, follow her slowly.
Someone asked, what are you guys doing to that baby?
Wait, what?
We're training her. Getting her used to touch from afar before we put our hands on her. She's doing real good today.
Steve says you're doing an awesome job.
Thanks, Steve. Appreciate the support. Yeah, push her around. If she starts walking away, just push her around. It's funny how not scared she is by that whip moving.
Oh, I know.
If y'all are just coming in, that's the reason Shelby's banging it against the ground, is this horse is not spooky at all. A lot of Mustangs, you just point that whip at them and they'll run. But this one's really, really chill. She's got a real chill attitude. I really like it. We haven't gotten our hands on her yet, but I imagine we will here soon. Good. So yeah, we're just waiting for her to take a big breath or let us know that she's doing okay, and then we'll take it off, and that'll be her reward for kind of letting us mess with her. Yeah, she turns away, just push her. You're doing real good, by the way. Yeah.
I don't know if you're talking me or the horse, but
Both of you. Yeah, if she kind of swings her butt, just move to where you were before.
yeah.
Just stay in the same position relative to her body. But if she turns away, use that whip to push her around to where you want her to be.
Yeah. I feel like we're starting to get off the dirt right in this one area.
Yeah, she's real dirty.
Come out.
I can't wait till we can get some brushes on her and start cleaning her up.
Oh, I know.
Hopefully tomorrow.
You can tell she's gonna have that pretty two-tone tail that a lot of grays have.
Oh yeah. Hopefully we can get it a little bit wider.
Ketchup.
Is that really what people use? I've never had a gray before. I've always wanted a gray.
No, this baby was not abused. She just came from the holding pen.
Yeah, she's just never been around people before. No, she's not a rescue case. She's just An untouched Mustang. There you go. So, that's a big thing what we're doing here, waiting for her to relax before we push her any further. She seems to be a more introverted horse. She doesn't act out when something makes her nervous. So some people take an introverted horse and they think, oh, they're letting me pet him like this. Let's try for more. But introverted horses can get to the point where they've just had too much and then suddenly they react a little bit explosively. So we just want to make sure that she gives us the okay before we go any further. She's really starting to relax.
Yeah.
Jessica says beautiful.
She's walking,
Yeah, she's walking slower. She's sniffing the ground a little bit. And she's letting you approach her back instead of starting at her butt.
Yeah.
Which is funny. I've never seen a Mustang whose butt was its safe spot starting out. Usually that's the part where they're most scared and they want to approach you with their head instead of their sides or their hindquarters. It's okay. Just tell her I'm not going away just because you did that. She's doing really good how you're working with her off the fence too.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that. Just go ahead and take a step back. I don't think we were going to get a big reaction on that side.
You're doing good.
Bye.
It was fun watching you.
Good to meet you.
Oh, little marble.
I know.
Do you need a water or anything?
No, I'm good. I've got my down. So I'm going to start on her good side. Then I'll work back to where I was working before.
How much does it cost to keep a horse?
To keep a horse,
Depends.
that depends on a lot of factors. You have to plan for, keeping up with their board. It's like having a car payment almost.
Food, vet bills, etc.
Being able to buy their food. And one of the big things you've got to plan for is if they go out there and they hurt themselves, you've got to have some money saved up to be able to pay for their vet bills. Good girl. She's really licking and chewing right now, letting me know that she's okay. So I'm going to start to move my hand. I've been working with her like this, with my hand at the end. I'm going to start moving my hand up here just to see if I can get a little closer with that touch being on her.
Mary says there is no end to the cost of having horses.
Yes.
If that's not true.
And you also have to plan for if you want one, you're going to want more. Mustangs can be pretty addicting. They'll teach you a lot. And then you'll get to the point where they're a domestic horse, you're working with them on riding or things that you work on regular horses with. And then you'll think back and you'll go, man, I missed the stages when they were wild and we were working on this. And then you'll start to get what they call the Mustang fever and want another one. Good. We'll see if she's brave enough to.
And to answer your question, Mary, yes, this is the wild Mustang. They picked her up yesterday. She's 4 years old, and she's been in holding for about 3 years.
So like I said, I moved my hand up. Now I'm a little further in her bubble. And she's got plenty of room to move. If she gets nervous, she can just head out that way. So I'm going to work up the neck a little bit. Oh, I can see her brand.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's black. They shaved it though.
Okay.
Oh, it's white in some parts too. It's pretty readable.
Hey! Hopefully when she loses her winter coat, it'll stand out.
Yeah.
Colleen says she's getting Mustang fever just watching, and she doesn't even own one.
They're addicting.
And to answer your question about taking them out of the wild, the BLM takes a select amount of horses out of the wild every year to help keep the populations controlled.
Yeah. I won't go too far into that today, but definitely do your research on that. There's a lot of misinformation out there. What's that?
Is she okay with this noise?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Definitely do your reading on that one, and don't only listen to the wild horse conservation groups. They can be pretty biased, and just there's a lot of misinformation out there, so make sure you're looking at the best information possible. Good girl. I really like that head shake. She started chewing a little bit. So I'm going to take my hand a little further up here, see if she'll let me get a little bit closer. And then eventually I'll move my hand up and up until I'm just petting her with my hand. She's really gorgeous. I like that she's venturing to take a look at me. She's been kind of too scared to get both her eyes on me, but she's starting to come around and turn her head towards me a little bit. Yeah, her brand looks good, Shelby.
Yay!
Gonna move my hand about 4 inches up.
Camille, is it possible for you to speak up a little bit?
Yes, I can. She's being a little bit disrespectful. I don't think she's gonna try and kick at me or anything, but she's just trying to put her rear end in my face so that she doesn't have to look at me. And I'm not gonna really punish her for that, but I do want to say, no, I want your attention, and I want you to open up the rest of your body to me.
Is that brand from the BLM?
Yeah. From the BLM. So each horse has a freeze mark that they put on them, and it's just to identify them all.
And there's like a way that you can read it. It's like symbols.
It's the symbols and it represents their birth date and like which herd they were rounded up from.
Yeah.
But
And like what number horse they were from that roundup.
it's like
And
hieroglyphics. You're gonna have to like read it up though.
it's really cool though. Like if you've seen like, is it Appaloosas that do like the same similar brand, or Arabs? There's another breed that has the similar.
Some Arab farms breed on the neck, and then I've heard some thoroughbreds also, but I don't know. I do know, this is kind of a funny story. I had a friend who was at a like a world class Arab show, and saw an Arab with the brand on the left side of his neck and the symbols that kind of look like a Mustang brand. And so she mistakenly, I think she was like probably 15, 14 years old. She mistakenly went up to the owner and said, "Oh wow, is that a Mustang?" And this lady with her Arab that was probably worth several $1,000s got so offended. She was like, "No, this isn't a
Is that a train going by?
Has gone down quite a bit.
It's like less than a quarter mile that way.
So I'm standing a lot closer now than she would let me at the beginning. And it's just a process for horses that aren't too sure about letting you near them, you know. Some of them come out of holding and they don't have a bubble at all. You can walk all around them, you can pet them all over. But some of them come out of holding and they have about a 50-foot bubble. And if you try and get within their bubble, they'll go and they'll try and fly over the top of their pen. What's she looking at? Like I said, she's not too fazed by this whole whip thing, so we're having to use it a little more than we would normally use for a wild horse. Okay, fine. You want to swing your butt at me? I'm going to scratch it. I'm working up her neck a little bit.
Susie says the symbols for the numbers are the same in all Freeze brands. I believe the first symbol usually identifies what organization the numbers are for.
Yes, I think that's true. So Mustang brand, the very first symbol will be kind of like a U, and that's the symbol of the Bureau of Land Management. The next two on top of each other will be her birth year, and then the last six will be part of her registration number. The registration number includes the birth year and the rest of that number. Then the last four numbers are her tag number, which she doesn't have a tag, they already took it off. But if she did, it would have those four numbers on her tag, and that's kind of their name until they get an actual name from whoever adopts them. I'm going to come back to this side and try something a little bit new. I'm going to take the string on my carrot stick and let it out some. Start getting her used to being touched by a rope.
And then to answer your question on how much and how often they get their feet done, once they're tamed, it's about 6 to 12 weeks depending on the individual horse, and it can cost anywhere from $40 just to get a trim up to a couple $100 for special shoeing, whether it's like orthopedic or if they need like therapeutic pads, etc. And Arabs start with an A on their Freeze brand.
So I'm going to let this out the full length, see if she'll just let me tickle her with it. She's really not too fazed by it. Which is really good. It means once we get our hands on her, she's probably going to let us halter her pretty quick. Some of them need a little more time getting used to ropes being swung around them. But we haven't really engaged her face yet, so we'll just see. Good girl. I'm going to see if I can come around to this side. And just kind of drag it off of her. Good girl. I'm giving her a lot more room now. I'm back at the end of my carrot stick.
We have decent stuff in there if they want something too. Oh, thank you.
Your battery is at 20%, Camille, just so you know.
That's fine. Probably in the live thing too. I think I'm almost to a good spot with her. So I've got it draped around her neck now. I'm just trying to see what she'll do if this touches her face. It'll give me a better idea of when we start haltering her what I'm going to get out of her.
What's the land minimum or like pen size to keep a horse healthy and happy?
I think for Mustangs they recommend 200 square feet. So this pen isn't only what she lives in. a door over here that opens up to the barn, so she's got plenty of room to roam. At the very least, you know, if they're stalls, they should have turnout or exercise every day, because horses, especially Mustangs, are, you know, built and bred to be moving. So that's really, the more land you can have, the better it is for them, especially for their digestion and just keeping them happy.
Susie wants to know, at what point in gentling does butt turning disrespect get more correction?
That's a good question. Pretty soon here, probably. She'll have to start learning how to open her face up to me, because she's really unfazed by what I'm throwing around her. I mean, I literally just threw that rope on her. So pretty soon, I'm gonna start asking her to move her hips away from me, because you definitely don't want it to
Watch
be a
behind you, Camille.
There's a cat. You have a new training assistant.
I just hope she doesn't get in the way. Is she really following me?
Yeah, she's catching the end of the other whip.
That's so funny.
Cat's more phased by it.
So yeah, that's just how I start, is by making a move where they don't want to move. And she's not being aggressive about it all. She's just kind of sticking her butt to my face because she doesn't want to really look at me. That's a good question, though. So yeah, she does seem to be a little bit head shy, which isn't uncommon. We're just gonna see if she'll let us a little bit closer.
Can a horse be used as a guard horse, like a llama is used as a guard llama?
Really? I don't know about that one.
I have a mini mule that's pretty
I wouldn't rule it
guardy,
out,
but
it also wouldn't hurt too much.
Susan asked, what would you do if she were to just not turn her butt to you, but also give a kick in your direction?
I would send her round and round. But you know, I really don't expect that from her. She's being disrespectful, but it's not out of fear or aggression. She's saying that what we're doing is a little bit hard for her, and she'd rather just shut me out. So I'm just gonna tell her I'd rather not be ignored, you know.
Kitty, kitty, come here.
And it starts slow. You definitely don't want that to be a habit. So now what I'm going to work on again is bringing my hand up here so she'll have to stand a little bit closer to her while I'm working on it. And I think we'll get one touch today from Shelby, and then we'll be done. So I'm just going to get close to touching her and not actually do it, and then I'll have Shelby jump in, and we'll be done. She's come a really long way today.
Yeah.
With Mustangs, can they be put in a regular pasture with electric fence in time, or always are they going to have to be in a tall enclosure?
Yes. You know, with that, it's just use good judgment until you can. I always make the process gradual of leaving the pen. Shelby, why don't you come in here and pet her?
Okay, perfect.
She's definitely ready for it. So if you couldn't see from that angle, I'm not sure you could. I worked my hand all the way up to here, and I was standing close enough to reach out and touch her. But I think she's ready. You know, you might want to make it gradual. You kind of sneak up and you hold here and start rubbing like that.
Yeah.
But you want me to take a video?
Yes. Will you take a sideways one so I can,
Okay.
be
I'm gonna
adored?
hang out over here. Yeah, go ahead and just work on what you've been working on, and when you feel she's ready, you just go ahead and reach your hand out, and then we'll be done. What was that question I was in the middle of?
Fencing.
Oh, fencing, yeah. That's just, you wait until, they're ready. Once you can catch them, someone asked that question, I answered it today in a Facebook group. Someone asked, when do you turn your horse out, to pasture for the first time? And I said, whenever, catching and haltering them is no longer a training experience, but when it's a routine.
Do you think you'll have a halter on her today?
No, not today. We're just gonna, she's already come a really long way today. I don't want to push it. Hopefully tomorrow, we'll see. I would put one on her today, except that she's being really evasive with the head, and I want her to realize she doesn't have to be afraid of that anymore. Yeah, so start inching your hand up. I'm gonna come over here and do a better video on that.
And we will be going live for her session tomorrow as well at noon Central Time.
Yeah. And if you're in College Station area, come on out. Is it nice to see these things in person?
Yeah. She does not care about it being
I know.
swung
She's
around.
gonna be a real good trail pony or kids pony or something.
Good girl.
But yeah, I'd say her biggest thing that we need to overcome before we put a halter on is allowing us near her face. So we'll definitely work more on not allowing her to swing her hips towards us, and instead open up that front area. Yeah, go ahead and move your hand halfway up. And take half a step closer to where you could reach out and touch her if you wanted to. She's doing okay. And like I said before, I think it was at the beginning, timing is important. You don't want to push them to where they want to move away, but if they do start to move away, you want to keep it there until they, pause and think about it a little bit more. Yeah, push her hips away.
Like walk her out or?
Like, push her into the fence.
Okay.
Yeah. No. Like this way. Have her come to the left to open up that left side. Because she is using that as a defense mechanism. So yeah, if she starts to do that, just push her this way.
Like.
Here.
Sorry.
Okay.
Hello from Poland. And how do you start asking to pick up their feet for the first time?
Asking to what?
Pick up their feet for the first time.
Slowly. So next time she kind of moves in this way, just
Yeah.
push her forward.
Okay.
So like that?
Yeah.
Push her forwards. I'd much rather her go forwards.
Then
than
back up.
Okay. I see, yeah. So move. Move. That way she kind of has to disengage her hips.
I see.
And then you stand here. And just work your way forwards like this. That's fine. If she starts to turn it towards you, just step back and let her have the strength to push it.
Okay.
And then get real close. So right now I'm standing close enough to reach out and touch her. And Shelby's just going to come in. The first thing I want you to do is kind of put your hand on top of it like this. So it's not a different feeling. You're just doing like this.
Yeah.
And then come, take your hand away from me. I'm letting Shelby get the first touch. She'd let me touch her right now. She wanted to, but Shelby's horse, she gets to touch first. if it's just kind of shifting her weight, you can let it slide. But if she's actually turning it towards you, yeah. Switch hands. So put your drive hip width in your right hand. Good girl. No, push her. Here. Do it. Let me show you the body language.
Okay. Sorry.
You're good. You're good. Just something you gotta look at. So you're coming in like this,
Yeah.
and you're kind of doing this. You want it to be. You're going.
I
forward.
see.
You want to open that up, but drive with your arm.
I see.
Yeah, she's really starting to like that.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Go.
Oh, got it.
Thank you. And she's real ready. Anytime you're ready. Don't be afraid of her reaction.
And Pam says, thank you, Camille. She's such a beautiful Mustang. Good luck with her. I'll tune in tomorrow.
Thank you. Yeah. Definitely tune in tomorrow. Look at you. First touch. How's it feel?
Oh my god.
Now take the whip away.
Good girl.
Yeah.
Good girl.
Good job. Now hand me these.
Okay.
And see if you can just go in with your hands. Actually, you might want this one to push her.
Yeah.
For picking up the feet, yeah, just go slow. Before you ever try and pick them up, just make sure they're okay with you, brushing them, rubbing them all over, and then just baby steps. Just kind of put pressure, and then as soon as they kind of bend a knee or relax a little bit, just go in with your hand. Be brave. Push her around. Push her. Yeah, that way. There you go. Forward. There you go.
Pam says, congratulations. And Brianna says, thank you for doing this.
Here, let me see if I can get in there.
Yeah. Good boy.
Stacy says, very cool, doing a great job. Woohoo!
Good. And one of the very first things I do, start getting them used to being touched, is I just scratch them. Right up here. That's right where their buddies would scratch them in the field. Look at that!
Yay!
What a good girl. You seeing this? This is a wild horse over here. Yeah. And then I work up under their mane because they get real hot and itchy under there. Good. I like how much she's relaxing. I'm going to say thank you. I'm going to give her a little bit of a pat. I'm going to step away. I think that's where we're going to end today. Thank y'all for tuning in.
Yeah, thank
I
y'all.
hope y'all enjoyed it. We got to a really good spot with her. And we're ready to pick it up tomorrow. So I think tomorrow we'll start with brushing her, getting used to hands around the face, and then we'll see if we can get a halter on her or not. We'll see. Hope to see y'all tomorrow.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
And remember, we'll go live at noon Central Time tomorrow.
Yeah.